I assume you're in New Orleans, are you?
Yes, I am.
What's it like down there these days?
Oh, well, it just rained for the last 7 days straight.
Good times.
Yeah. But yeah, the COVID situation is slowly seems to be healing, which is, feels great. Feels great to see. So.
Yeah, I've been doing quite a few of these interviews with people all over, and I'm getting the feeling that people are feeling a little more positive about how things are going now in the last few years. We've had it pretty good in New Zealand, so.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
So, anyway.
Yeah, our whole band is vaccinated now, so that's kind of like sort of a exciting feeling. We might be able to play some shows before the end of the year.
When was the last time you guys did a gig?
March 23rd or something of 2020.
Of 2020, yeah. That's got to be tough, and especially with the album coming out, you're gonna be dying to play.
Yeah, it's we postponed the release of it for almost a year, and then we were just like, you know what, this just has to come out now, even if we can't tour.
So the band is kind of consists of guys like you and others who've been involved in other bands, some together, some separately. How did the four of you kind of get together to form Silver Synthetics?
Basically we were all just friends, around town.
Right.
Known each other for a few years at least. The drummer in the band, Lucas, him and I actually went to high school together. Have been playing music together forever. So
right.
We've been doing this together for a long time. Kanal, the guitar player, just basically approached him multiple times at a bar. bothered him to play with me until he said yes.
Yep.
And then Peter joined, the bass player. He was the last piece, and he was basically the only person we knew who would fit. So
yeah. And when you say would fit, how does that define itself? How do you?
I guess him in particular. I was looking for someone who wanted to play bass, but also was able to sing harmony.
Right.
Which, not everyone can do. So especially before I was playing in a bunch of punk bands or punk shows, and generally punks don't know how to harmonize. So
yeah, that's a fact.
I had to kind of reach out and elsewhere to find someone like that.
Right. So it's interesting because you have kind of this punk background that you just referred to, but the sound of the band here is kind of more retro than that. To me, I'm an old guy, so I remember the Allman Brothers and Lou Reed and the Beatles and all that stuff. And that seems to be kind of where you're drawing from, that late 60s, early 70s. Is that what you guys planned on doing?
It wasn't fully intentional. Those are just things that I've listened to my entire life.
Right.
Before this band, when I was playing more in my punk band Bottom Feeders, I was still listening to a lot of stuff that sounds like Silver Synthetic. But I just listen to a lot of different kinds of music. But But basically I started writing these kinds of songs, and before I had the band, they just kind of started piling up, and I didn't know what exactly I was going to do with it. And it just all, the songs sound the way they do, just, and nothing about it's very intentional. I'm not picking up my guitar I'm going to write a 70s song.
Right.
Just kind of that's, that's kind of the music I want to hear, I guess, because it just naturally happens that way.
Very cool. So I see you got a video for the opening track in the beginning. Pretty laid back and loose. Even the video, it kind of matches the music, I guess.
Yeah, that video is kind of like it's just supposed to be about a person who is down and out.
Right.
And the song is sort of about that, or the song's just kind of about like maybe not ending up in your life where you expected to. And maybe it's not as good as you would have hoped for yourself.
Right.
And so, but it's also just making light of like the whole situation, and that's what the video is supposed to be, a little funny. But
I think everybody's a lot of folks anyway are taking an opportunity with having to be locked in and locked down to have those kind of thoughts. So it seems rather timely at this point anyway.
Yeah, for sure. It actually worked out well with COVID. I wrote that song like 3 or 4 years ago. So
right. You saw it coming. So the record came out on the 9th and it's on Third Man. So did you do anything to celebrate, to get the word out?
Yeah, we actually, I guess I lied. We did play a show. But it was it was basically we played set up a generator in a park in New Orleans.
Right.
It was a beautiful day, and we just lightly promoted the fact that we were going to be setting up and playing the park because we didn't want it to be like, a super spreader event or even close to that. So
right.
But yeah, that's basically how we celebrated. We just set up, we played the record and then a few new ones, and set up a little merch table and sold some records, and it was great. Like I forgot, performing feels better than I even remember it. So,
that's good.
Definitely miss doing that. It was good. So that's basically all we did, though. It was nice to be able to do something, celebrate it, because we all kind of thought in the back of our minds that there's just going to be nothing. Like the record's out, but doesn't feel like it.
Now the record was recorded by a guy named Ross Farby. Is that correct?
Ross Farb, yeah.
Farb. And so what were the sessions like? Were you recording in some kind of mobile rig? Is that right?
Yeah, he basically has like somewhat of a portable studio, and which includes like reel-to-reel tape machine, like a small mixer, and a bunch of different gear, compressors, and rack mounts of all different kinds. And yeah, he just brought it over my house, and we set it up and started tracking. Did tracking for 7 days, and it was really nice. Honestly, the reason we did it that way is just because we were broke. Like we couldn't afford to actually record in a studio. So. And it just turns out that Ross is, I've worked with him before in a bunch of different stuff. He's super talented. His equipment's great.
Right.
And it was cool because, we could we were just at my house. We could cook a meal and just, it felt very laid back.
Well, with everything going on, a lot of people are recording in their homes. I'm wondering how studios are going to do once it's all over with and they go back.
Yeah. I'm wondering myself if we want to even record in a studio for the next one, because you don't have to.
Right. And I was like on a track like Chasm Killer, there's a very kind of live in this quote unquote studio kind of sound to it. Is that just naturally you guys just standing around and playing with each other?
I could tell you that you're always looking in from the outside. There's a killer in the chasm of the window. I know you're not here
we had rehearsed as a band for 2 years.
Right.
before recording that. And basically all we did in preparation was, just practice as a live 4-piece band. And then, we went in and recorded. So everyone really just performed what they were practicing at, at band rehearsal. And the way we recorded was drums and my electric rhythm guitar live together.
Right.
That was like the first tracking. So in a way, it has the live feeling, like nothing, like everything else was overdubbed individually. Right. But yeah, that probably adds to that feeling instead of a drummer playing to a metronome or something.
Gotcha. And both you and Kunal play guitar. So how do you kind of work out who's doing what?
Yeah, I mean, generally, like starting this band, I wanted to like have a lead guitar player and I would be playing rhythm. I play a few of the lead guitar solos on the record, but it's mainly all him.
Uh-huh.
And so basically, like I write a song and it's usually just a few like chords on a guitar. It's always pretty simple.
Right.
And he just runs with it and we figure it out.
And what is it about his guitar playing that makes him fit in with the band?
Well, he firstly is just super talented.
That helps.
So that always works.
Yeah.
But I think like he just kind of knows where I'm coming from.
Right.
Like we listen to similar music and he knows what I'm going for, and it's like he can reciprocate that very easily, and it's just natural. It's nice when you can play music with someone and not have to really talk about anything. It's just like, because if you do, like, it ruins everything for me.
Don't want to overthink it.
Yeah.
It's not the way rock and roll is supposed to work.
No way.
You released the record on Third Man. Did they have much involvement in the making of it, or is it kind of a distribution thing, or how?
We recorded the record in spring of 2019.
Right.
So
2 years ago.
Yeah. Crazy. But so we had it recorded before there was even a thought in our minds that Third Man would want to put it out.
Right.
And we basically played a show in Nashville one night. It was our first time leaving New Orleans for some shows.
Right.
And Ben Swank from Third Man was there and just was really into it and asked us if we recorded anything or had recordings. We sent him the whole record. We're like, yeah, we actually have a whole record, and we
just sitting there waiting.
Haven't been able to do anything with it. And that was like 6 months after we recorded it. So yeah, and then so they weren't really involved in like the recording or anything, but we were ready to roll as soon as we ran into Ben Swank, so it was kind of nice.
Very cool, very cool. So I mean, 2 years ago we're talking about. So it sounds like you're ready to record another one.
Yeah, I mean we've recorded a lot of new material, just like more like demos since then, and we have kind of like a huge catalog right now of new music, and it's kind of nice because I've had this much time. I have a lot more to choose from. Like there'll be songs that if we had less time, I would have just put them on the record, but now I'm kind of looking through everything like, well, I have so much to choose from, and I can pick the best out of this larger amount of songs that I'm used to. So
right.
Just trying to look at it in a positive way.
And sonically, are you kind of keeping the same kind of vibe do you think, for the next one?
For the most part, it'll probably sound a little different, but I mean, it definitely can stand next to the first record, and it'll sound like the same band at least.
Yeah, well, at least when you finally get out and play in front of real people, you'll have a couple of records to play from. It's
we can play all night.
Exactly. So have you got much feedback over digitally or however from folks
Yeah,
who've been listening?
It's been cool seeing people from all over responding to it. There's been a bit of press, which has all been positive.
Right.
So it's cool. It definitely feels kind of funny because right now we would be on the road promoting the record and playing shows and doing all that. And it feels kind of funny that like this release cycle is going to last like 2 weeks and then it'll just kind of just be over,
Right.
Whereas if we were able to go on tour, it would last like a couple months.
Right. Yep.
So all that's weird, but all the response has been totally positive. People seem to enjoy it. So it's nice to see that. We've been waiting a very long time to put this out. So
yeah, well, things seem to be loosening up. Like here, today is the first day they've established a bubble between New Zealand and Australia, so we can now suddenly travel back and forth without having to be in isolation. So hopefully that bubble will expand. You ever been to New Zealand? Have you?
I have not. I'm really looking forward to coming there, though.
Yep, we got a great kind of Americana scene here, and just classic rock stuff and all that. So I think you do well, and you probably have a good time.
Yeah, we're already having talks about trying to come down there.
Excellent. All righty.
Yeah.
Well, in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it. We'll see if we get the word out.
Yeah, have a good morning, I think, right?
It's just past noon now, so it's lunchtime.
Okay. Gotcha.
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you. See ya.
Bye-bye.